Now, this is going to be a very short clip, but this clip is just going to expose, as usual, that politics, a lot of politicians, especially when it comes to the right, are play actors, and they are the biggest hypocrites when it comes to the cost of living, when it comes to the real situation that's taking place in the United States right now. In this clip, we are going to see Ana Navarro get into a bit of a heated exchange with Jason Rantz in regards to the narrative and the rhetoric that Republicans make around the cost of living when Biden was in charge versus what they're saying now that Donald Trump's in charge. As usual, let's watch the clip in full. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts at the end.
Tonight, Republicans have a new message for Americans concerned about rising gas prices. Just relax.
Look, it's just not going to last forever, and gas prices are going to go back down.
How do you know that?
Well, I know that because this war is not going to last forever.
The gas price situation is tough, but I don't think that's going to be resolved in the next few weeks. I think by, call it Labor Day, it's all in the rearview mirror.
The fact of the matter is everybody relax. Fuel prices will go down. Iran's going to end very, very soon.
You might recall, this is the same party that attacked Joe Biden throughout his presidency, accusing him of inaction over high gas prices.
He's not being honest about inflation. Inflation is picking up. Look at gas prices, up over 70 cents a gallon since he got elected.
The national average price for a gallon of gas reached $4.32 on Sunday. And yes, that is the highest price in U.S. history. What is so hard about just being honest with the American people? President Biden should accept responsibility for the past year of rising prices.
We see people postponing their vacations. So this is having a devastating impact to normal families all across my state. The Biden administration is just tone deaf.
In standard fashion, the Biden administration has tried to blame someone else. Mr. Biden has implausibly blamed Vladimir Putin for the high price of gasoline.
You heard Rick Scott there saying the Biden administration was tone deaf, and he was right. So are Republicans doing the same?
Yeah, I don't think this is something to be glib about. This is certainly sobering, and I think President Trump should have an honest conversation. We are in a wartime like other leaders do, and acknowledge what's going on and continue to make the case to the American people that it's worth it, because there is a serious cost. I also think there are things to be optimistic about. We are deregulating. UAE is coming out of OPEC, which could mean less of a monopoly on that front. And I also am going to say, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. Republicans are not in a great spot, but I don't look at Democrats and think that they have it tied up for midterms either.
Can I say, you know, the scars from this, but when you're dealing with an inflationary context, you have to show that you're going to take affirmative steps to address inflation. The president is exacerbating inflation. His tariffs are a price hike. The situation in the Middle East is leading to an energy crisis. And his biggest signature achievement was reducing healthcare benefits, cutting SNAP benefits to do a tax cut. So when he's contending with inflation, it's tough, because his policies are worsening it. And then to hear Republicans say, just get over it, just deal with it, it's not where people are in this country. It's not where
Americans also got a serious tax break.
It's true. It is true. And it probably is part of the reason that it cost Democrats the election. It is true that Democrats were slow to acknowledge and recognize the pain that Americans were going through. But what Democrats were not doing, what Joe Biden was not doing at the same time, was repainting the pool for $15 million and walking around with a rendition of a ballroom that's now going to cost $1.5 billion with a B, and unveiling gold-plated statues of himself.
They spent tens of millions of dollars doing it.
You know, I mean, so the tone deafness, the Secretary of Transportation wasn't on a 7-month road trip with his 9 children for a TV
Sean Duffy
show.
is not.
So,
he was not. You know that he was not on a road trip for 7 months.
No.
You know that is factually
Okay, he has been on a road trip during
for a
those
couple
7
of
months.
days at a time.
Okay,
he was not on for 7 months.
Okay.
That's just not fair and not accurate.
He was filming a reality show, road trip,
exactly.
road trip reality
At a couple
show
days
over the
at a
course
time,
of
over the course of 7 months.
While
So you had a previous transportation secretary who took the whole time off.
Not sure that makes it better.
While gas
It does
is
make
at
it better. Come on.
$5.99 a gallon, while we are having all sorts of FAA issues, while there's
Then you
cruise
don't have to
lines
make,
with
but my point
viruses,
is, you don't
and
have to
that
make
is
something
what-
up to make
I
a
am not
point.
making
I
it up.
think you can make
During
very
the
valid
7
points
months,
here.
He has taken days off during the 7 months to go on a road trip for a TV show. Which part of that is inaccurate?
Well, you said he was taking off 7 full months.
No, I didn't say he
That's
was
exactly
taking
what
off
you said.
7
I
months.
think he's allowed to see his 9 children every month for a couple days. I don't begrudge him that.
And tell America to go on road trips while the gas is $5.99
I guess at the end of the day, if what we're talking about is the transportation secretary filming a reality show, it's probably not a good sign for this administration.
I'm fine with
one
the secretary
way or
celebrating the 250th anniversary of the country.
We'll leave it there. The Trump Tower that has...
Of course you're fine with that. Because you're a MAGA bootlicker, that's the reason as to why Eddie Monster. You see, this is what my frustration is when it comes to these people. And this is exactly why I said at the top of the video, these guys are play actors and they are hypocrites. If you were to simply just swap this administration and let it be a Democrat or Joe Biden's administration, hear me clearly, these guys would not have the same energy. They wouldn't. They would be saying it's out of touch. It's insensitive. That's exactly what it is that they'd be saying. Now, I want you guys to pay attention. Did you guys see the way that Jason Rantz, Eddie Munster, did you see the way that he discussed and spoke back to what it is that Ana Navarro said? He said absolutely nothing about the points that it is that she made. All he decided to focus on was the fact that it is that she said he spent 7 months doing a reality TV show. That's what he chose to focus on instead of refuting the actual points that it is that she made. And the reason as to why he didn't that is because you can't refute the points that it is that he's made. Republicans are the biggest hypocrites that are out there. Now, I want to take you guys back, and I'm not sure if you guys remember. I remember seeing it over here in the UK. Like I said, I never had this channel. I never spoke about my thoughts and my reasonings behind why I think what I think. I was just sitting there and I was seeing things where you saw Republicans lined up at microphones and they were plastering the "I did that" Biden stickers on gas pumps because of the prices of what gas was back then. But the reality is this. Now that there's been a massive surge under Donald Trump, the response is completely different. You see, there's no more of the lining up at microphones to now try and throw Donald Trump under the bus. It's now a thing of, oh, it's temporary because, you know, of the war that's taking place. You know, it's going to come down in a couple of weeks, even though this was actually manufactured by the now commander-in-chief. At least with Joe Biden, he actually had a justification for the reasoning behind why prices were what they were. Number one, you had the Ukraine war taking place, but then more importantly, it was on the off-ramp of what was taking place all around the world. C-19, everybody knows that. But these guys never ever try and utilize that and say, you know what, he has a justification and a reason as to why prices were what they were. They just utilize it as an opportunity to try and downplay and batter Joe Biden over the head for when he was in charge. Now, the same lawmakers who demanded immediate accountability from Biden, they're now literally turning around and trying to speak to Americans about sacrifice and saying that sacrifice is worth the cost of Iran not having a nuclear weapon. But the reality is, if they were so hell-bent on Iran not having a nuclear weapon, they would have backed Barack Obama's JCPOA deal that ensured that Iran didn't have a nuclear weapon. But they didn't. What they do instead is they tell lies that Barack Obama handed over barrels of cash. But what they won't tell you is that the cash that it is that Iran was given, that was cash that it is that was theirs, that was held up in American banks. You see, this is what it is that they won't tell you, because like I said at the top of this clip, this show, it's play acting, and these guys are hypocrites. They're not serious in any way, shape or form. But my core argument here is very simple, very straightforward. Republicans are the ones who established this standard that the president is directly responsible for gas prices, even though that we know that's not the case. Sorry, it's usually not the case. Joe Biden could not control C-19. But the reality of what's taking place right now, Donald Trump is responsible for it, because this was a war that was manufactured off his own back. He decided to go into Iran when he didn't need to. He decided to not do the correct type of strategy, to understand that they closed down the Strait of Hormuz, who's responsible for between 20 to 30% of the world's oil. He decided to do that. He manufactured this situation, and he is the reason why gas prices are what they are. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this clip in the comment section below. As usual, do the usual stuff. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell notification, and hype up the video and get it in front of as many people as possible. As usual, I'll see you guys in the next clip.